Hi everyone, my name is Nick Elms and I'm the Creative Director here at Foundry 42 in the Wilmslow office in the UK. Erin is on holiday this week, so it's up to me to give you this month's studio update. As you would imagine, the Wilmslow office is still a hive of activity with tasks, bugs and features all being worked on for both Squadron 42 and 3.0. Let's start with the ongoing sprints. With the air traffic controller sprint, the initial groundwork has now been completed and we're moving on to more of the functionality, including communicating with the ATC. From your cockpit, when you want to land, you now target the station using the player interaction system. Select the option to request a landing, then you'll be given the start of a communications channel with the NPC to have a dialogue with them. We are currently in the process of implementing this in real-world cases. So for example, in our PU map, we are setting up at Port Olisar, so both requesting your ship as well as landing will all go through the ATC. As part of the push to make Star Citizen more accessible, we're introducing a new hint system to make the initial learning curve lower for new players. As the player begins their first steps into the Star Citizen universe, various hints will get displayed on the UI, giving feedback on how to interact with the different systems. Whether it's entering the proximity of the ASOP terminal or letting them know about a mobi-glass feature after a given amount of time. For 3.0, we're changing how the player spawns into the level. Currently, this is done by spawn points, so each bedroom in the PU map has its own spawn point and then some flow graph logic to position them correctly in the bed and play the correct animation. As you will imagine, with the number of spawn locations in the PU, this is adding up to a lot of flow graph and setup. Going forwards, we're creating a new spawn component which can be added to any entity. For example, if this component is added to a bed, we will then assume the player will need to be attached correctly to it and play the normal lie down, idle animation automatically. This now means that we can remove a large amount of flow graph and simplify the setup of the level. Work is continuing for the missions on 3.0 with the progress on the implementation of the mission broker and mission manager. These will determine how a mission and all its objectives are presented to and given to the player to complete. They will also be tracking what missions a player already has and how far through the objectives they are. In the AI locomotion sprint, we are spending time refining the way the AI walks and runs around a level. We have found that just following a path, which is determined by the pathfinding code, gives a result which looks very unnatural. We've now implemented a new path smoothing algorithm which makes AI traversal around corners in a much more natural way, so it doesn't look like they're going from one point to the next. Because they're generally moving to get to a particular place, we're currently working on making reaching that point and going into whatever animation is required be as seamless as possible. The graphics team have been wrapping up and bug fixing the major features mentioned in our last update, such as lit fog, real-time environment probes for planet lighting, and render-to-texture work for holograms and video comms. In addition, they've made some tweaks to our lighting model to improve the appearance of ground reflections of the sun on planets at sunset and sunrise. The UK animation team has continued to work on the FPS weapons, with the previous complete for the new Gemini L86 ballistic pistol. The Arrowhead is now close to final, with just some minor polish work left on the reload states. The takedowns have gone from an implementation pass to a more refined animation pass, with concentration on a stronger composition, solid posing, clear silhouettes and polish to the mocap data to better sell the overall action. The AI animation work is ongoing with improvements to posing of enemy patrol states and reactions to sight and sound. The team are also helping to export the remaining gameplay story cinematic scenes so that design can implement and better visualize the story within the levels they're working on. The Derby animation team are finishing off the facial animations for the 3.0 mission givers, and Eckhart's body animation is being polished and implemented too. Last week, some of the team attended a PU audio and facial shoot in London. They captured some awesome footage from some great actors, and we think it will go a long way to fleshing out the universe. The VFX team have continued tests with a new lighting entity, this time focusing on smaller scale interior electrical effects. They have also been testing the features in the new particle system as provided by the graphics team, including better trail options and depth buffer based collision required for sparks, for example. The first Levski exterior VFX pass is underway, including refinery flames and general ambience. The new Cutlass flight-ready VFX, including interior damage and thruster effects, are now done. Work has continued on the atmospheric flight effects sprint, with heavy focus on playtesting, bug fixing and testing new features as provided by the graphics and engineering teams. The ongoing polish for the VFX for the new weapons and reworked versions is continuing up to the 3.0 release. On the art side, the Origin 600i concept process has now finished, and we're really looking forward to seeing what you guys think. It's one sleek ship. The next ground vehicle has been rocking along, and we're just about to kick off a whole new round of ships. On the ship weapons front, we've taken the Klaus and Werner styling from the FPS weapons and used that to influence the work on the Klaus and Werner laser repeater. On the other end of the spectrum, we're looking at some cool looking Maxox neutron repeaters. The art team has also been hammering away at further Schuben mining station interiors, working out a few more areas to improve on for its believability. This is done by zeroing in on the functionality of the areas. Work has also continued on providing further infrastructure to the habitation pods, including comms arrays, water collectors, and small deployable communication units. Our space scenes have been getting a major facelift for the 3.0 release. We've been very busy adding large volumes of interplanetary space dust within the Stanton system. Adding texture and visual interest to our space overworld has been a big priority for the 3.0 release. As part of this sprint, we've reworked some of the distant nebula in the Stanton system, but there's still lots more to come. We've been working on large-scale nebula rendering techniques using the Pyro system as a test case. These techniques will help us create our interstellar scale nebula. Also, for Squadron 42, we're exploring the look and feel of the coil, which plays a major role in the first campaign. We're using powerful fluid simulations to help us achieve this look. Any work we undertake on improving the space for 3.0, as always, is a great benefit for Squadron 42. Work is ongoing for the truck stop station materials. This includes finalising the panel shapes, adding some hue and gloss variation and elements of wear and tear and dirt. The unclad frames are also being finalised with structural elements surrounding the machinery and high frequency detail. We are continuing to work on the solar panels, trying different ideas out and getting them to a stage where they gel well with the rest of the truck stop. The rest of the truck stop team are finalising the main hull pieces before proceeding to the front and back sections of the station. Special consideration is being made to ensure all pieces of work, as well as the modular set, don't look visually repetitive. Detailing areas around the landing pad is ongoing, and this includes adding more visual complexity to the back of the landing pad, as well as the borders around the edge of the pad. In relation to the surface outposts, more of the archetypal outposts have had a dressing and a lighting pass. This includes an emergency shelter, which can be found dotted around the moons as a place for crash pilots to take refuge. Also, an illegal drug lab, which may or may not be on one of the moons. Planet integration materials for the outpost exterior have been tested and tweaked for sand and ice biomes. This determines the amount of dirt buildup that can vary for each biome and can be adjusted for each outpost for variation. Branding prototyping has been explored for procedural locations, with the Rayari brand as a test case. This includes the main logos and text, along with the secondary logos, indents, lines and signage. This would procedurally swap brands depending on who owns the outpost. With regards to the ship team, the reclaimer work has been completed on the drone room. We were keen to focus on the drone deployment and storage mechanism, as we're excited to see this become functional when drones come online. The engine room has also been completed. Making use of repurposed assets from the Idris, all reused assets go through the process of reskinning with reclaimer materials to make everything feel consistent and cohesive. The exterior damage setup is nearing completion, with internal geometry being built to be exposed when the ship takes damage. Work on the derelict ships and wreckage elements are coming to an end for the initial batch, and support is now in place for design to create mission scenarios based on derelict ships in space or on planets. The material variations of each ship have been created so that depending on which planet the ships are placed on, they will look visually embedded to the surface type. All that's remaining for this phase are the technical elements such as LODs, vis areas and collisions. The Gladius cockpit has been revamped and relit for the new cockpit experience sprint. This has been an exercise in improving the player's feeling of immersion and has been a collaboration between several departments. On the art side, It has been achieved by clearing a channel between the top support screens to reveal the Gatling gun on the nose, and making a range of interactive buttons for more interesting animations, and remodelling the throttle for improved functionality. The cockpit canopy has been extended for a better clarity, and new interior lighting has been added to help bring it all to life. On the Hull C exterior, work is currently being done on finishing the landing gear mechanisms and detailing the inner bay areas, while we create the initial animations and work towards a final art. The front section of the interior is now modelling complete and is getting a detailed lighting pass using new light groups controller. Once this is complete, the tunnel section and rear engine room will be modelled and lit in the same fashion. The live design team are ploughing ahead with content for the PU, and they've made sure to spend a bit of time giving much needed love to some of the existing Arena Commander and Star Marine maps. Dying Star has received a new lease of life with the addition of procedural asteroids, which give a much more cinematic dogfighting experience. Both of the Star Marine maps have received a number of balancing changes based on feedback from the community. In Echo 11, we've made some adjustments to the capture points, and in Last Stand and Damien, we've added a sneaky new EVA route from the Marine Spawn Zone to Landing Pad B. On the UI front, we've been busy chipping away at all the various features that are making their way into the new Mobiglass. We've made progress on getting the home screen fully functional and displaying elements of the actor status, atmospheric readouts, suit status readouts, as well as personal overview. We've also got player loadout management working as an app in Mobiglass. This interface should easily carry over to handle ship loadout customization as well, as is currently in the Arena Commander front end menu. We're also working to get the Mobiglass UI in general to be projected using the new render to texture tech, which will make the UI look much more properly integrated within the game world. Work has continued on designing and implementing the upcoming character customization menu on the front end, which will be included in 3.0. From here, players will be able to create and customize their various characters in the PU, obviously depending on how many character slots that player has. Initially, the level of customization will be limited, but it will be expanded in the future to provide much more granular control of characters' features. The audio team has been working on several features for the 3.0 release. These include the procedural planet ambience system, which is designed to place appropriate sounds around the player dynamically as they traverse planetary bodies. We've also been refining the approach on how we produce ship armaments and first-person weapon audio, further ensuring they are satisfying for the player while reflecting player-driven modifications and customization.
This example I'm going to show you today is for the Bearing Size 2 laser cannon. We've basically changed the sound to a kind of new, more exciting, big sound using our new system, which I'll explain. So this is what the new sound is like. So as you can hear, it's basically, yeah, a lot bigger, a lot punchier, a lot more kind of pronounced.
The audio team has been producing sound schemes for the different kinds of diegetic user interfaces that will feature in 3.0, including the kiosks. The audio direction of these vary to suit their tech level, and this presents some great opportunities to reinforce their look and feel. Preparation has begun in earnest for a Foley session at Pinewood Studios to ensure audio coverage for character clothing and armour, and content to extend the footstep system further. Progress has also been made on the foundational audio tech such as dynamic bank loading, the actor status system, the audio propagation system and music logic system, as well as content production for derelict ships, bespoke 3.0 location sound design, ship damage effects, audio support, ship improvements and more besides. We're really excited about all the new content and gameplay that 3.0 will bring, and as you can see from what's been going on here, we're getting closer every day. All that remains for the UK update is to send out a massive thank you to you, our backers, without which we would not be able to put together this amazing game. See you in the verse.